Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, and it is just Marco here to review Cape Fear Episode 5. And by the way, this is the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. I experimented with removing that part of the phrase from the opening, but I thought it was kind of stupid. It was kind of stupid logic because, the average for time watched on these videos is like 2.5 minutes. And I thought, it only takes like 20 seconds to do the intro. So why wouldn't I keep that part of the intro? But anyways, that's beside the point. I am here today to review this new Cape Fear episode, and I gotta say, after last episode, I really liked it, and I thought it had its bad moments. I still thought it was a good episode, and this episode, though, I'm right back to not really liking this show. In fact, this episode really, it was so convoluted. And Amy Adams continues to be abysmal. Her accent that she's doing is just, it's terrible. And she's so unlikable. She's so blech. It's like, look, like she's the quote-unquote good character, but a lot of the stuff she does is actually pretty bad. And then Max, it's like, even though he might be the bad guy, I guess, I'm not really sure, he's the most entertaining thing about the whole show. So, yeah. So there were like 10 storylines going on this episode. Like, there were so many stories going on. It was more than Fallout. So, please excuse me if I don't fully go through everything in this episode, but it was just so packed full. And I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't like this episode, was because it had the Fallout kind of feel to it. And I think that, last episode was better because it had more of a focus. And it really sucks, I was very much looking forward to this episode. But it was a huge letdown. And it's called Faith. So, that's because it's Nevaeh. That's the name of her mom. Okay, so first off, They did a recreation of the theater scene from Cape Fear, the Scorsese one, where Robert De Niro's in the theater while the main guy is there, and he's like, ha, 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 and he's purposefully being loud and obnoxious. That incredible, iconic scene. People post GIFs of that all the time. No, they don't. They post Michael Jackson, of course, because Michael Jackson is the best. But they recreated the scene with Nevaeh. And she is sitting there. First off, she raided her mom's kitchen, and I think she punched her. And she's eating this stuff in the theater, and just, she's so gross. And she starts doing the laughing, and it was so cringeworthy. Because at the end of last episode, like, you had that really creepy moment with her where she was, like, hypnotizing Zach or doing some kind of magic with him. It was really, really creepy. But then you have this theater scene that just completely undermines that. And this is what I was talking about with Supergirl, where Supergirl, it begins on a joke and it ends on a joke. And it's like, why would you want to do that? why don't you want to take it seriously? Like, why did you do this scene? I mean, this scene was so bad. The actress playing Nevaeh, she could not handle it. I mean, she was like, like she was really trying. She was trying so hard. Like, you could, like, post a caption on the screen saying, like, the definition of try hard. And I feel bad for her because she's obviously kind of like a new actress, and it must have been really intimidating to have to try to recreate that scene. So then Amy Adams comes in. I forgot her name. Is it Laura? I can't remember. She comes in the theater to confront her. And right off the bat, they just ruined the entire suspense and mystery, because she confronts her, and then Nevaeh admits that she's been fucking with their family, and but it's not because Max is telling her to. I hated that scene. It was so weird after last episode of, like, having that reveal and having that creepy moment and just kind of having this realization of, like, this Nevaeh girl is a lot darker than you would have expected. But it was so weird to reveal that, like, oh, she's not working for Max, but she's fucking with the family. It's like, what is going on here? So then they go outside, they have a little spat, and eventually she assaults Amy, and then Amy pushes her, and then she gets run over by a car. And then she just walks away and escapes. And I'm not kidding you guys when I say that half of this episode is revolved around how somebody films this on their cell phone and they turn it into a viral video. And it's like, uh-oh, Amy Adams' character is gonna get canceled. Uh-oh. Like, is this what we all wanted with Cape Fear? Is this really what we wanted from this adaptation? The main character, she's gonna get canceled. Oh no, a viral video. There's a hashtag on the viral video. It's all over TikTok. You can see, oh no, the lawyer pushed the girl. Like, what? Just, it was so random. And again, it supports my theory that this show is literally like a series of unfortunate events. It's a series. It's not that story, but it's a series of weird things. Weird things that just so happen to connect. And then they'll play that music. Dun, 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 dun. You know, like they just have, I swear to God, this is almost, it has almost become like a series of sketches. Like a series of SNL sketches, and then in between every sketch, they go, dun, 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 dun. And it's like, God, just shut up. And you're probably telling me to shut up because it was probably really loud. Okay, let's move on. So they devote this whole first half of the episode to the family kind of reacting to that, and the dad yells at the mom. The lesbian daughter is like drinking alcohol during the daytime and secretly, like Jeffrey Dahmer, drinking alcohol. And then there's this scene where the token lesbian daughter, and I'm calling her that because she is not supposed to be a lesbian at all. They ruined the character. They changed the character to fit an agenda or to just fill a quota. You know, and again, they could have done the whole story with Nevaeh, with her being a straight girl, and they could have had it where, you know, she's just experimenting because, you know, sometimes you just experiment, you know. I didn't. Well, actually, never mind. this video isn't about me. But I mean, everybody does in some way, and but they didn't have to change her sexuality. They did it on purpose. And it's kind of like they hope that there's an opening to do so. Like, oh, can we race swap this character? Oh, well, hopefully, let's just see, is there can we change this character's sexuality? Ooh, wait, there could be a really good story idea around that. And so, oh yeah, let's do it. Fill a quota. That's what they do. It's convenient wokeness is what I call it. It's wokeness for convenience. But anyways, the daughter finds her, the daughter finds her brother, the sister finds her brother, and he is doing magic again. And they have a little confrontation, and then he says some things to bait her, and she then stabs her brother and puts him in a chokehold. And it's like, wow, you're really making me like the lesbian daughter character a lot. I mean, that was so random though. They never even talk about like a stab. Like there's no, it just happens. And then the mom comes in, she's like, what's going on? And then they just separate, and it's like, oh, I guess that little fight just happened. I guess that, a little storyline. The little storyline happened. And I have a list of things that happen, guys. Like, I swear, I am literally just reading a list. Because that is exactly what watching this episode felt like. Like, I know that this sounds weird. I know that it sounds very unnatural. Like, there isn't any connectivity barely. Except for chaos, I guess. And we'll talk about that later in the video. It's just really hard to talk about TV shows like this that are so packed full of bullshit. Alright. So then Max is at this bar because I guess, like, they don't know what else Max can do on the show other than go to bars and then cause trouble. Or go to a park, It's either a park or a bar. Like, it's really strange. But Max is with the documentary woman, and she is trying to tell him, oh, you could actually have a new restaurant to resurrect your wife. And, so that's another whole subplot. Is like, oh, maybe Max could open up a new restaurant. And then all of a sudden, Juliette Lewis comes on, and she confronts him, and then they go somewhere private. And it's kind of revealed that they had an affair, which we already knew that, but, like, she's still into him. Like, remember that whole thing about, like, stay away from him. He's evil. Maybe she was just jealous. Maybe she's just, like, a crazy mistress. Like, I really don't know. But then Max actually threatens her that he would kill her. And then he says, stay away. And, he pushes her down, whatever. And he leaves and whatever. That was bizarre. I don't know what to make of any of this stuff. I mean, it's just like they're feeding me these things and I'm not getting anything. Like, I don't even want to watch other people's reactions or reviews of the show because, like, I almost feel like there's an inside joke and I'm not a part of it or something. Like, that's what this show is. It's like one giant inside joke that I'm not a part of. Alright. Okay, and now another thing happened. Tom, remember Heather from Daredevil and how she kissed Tom and made me jealous because I was like, you know what, like, I want to take Heather to IHOP, and, then I'll be like, you can pay me back, later. Like, that really... I was so jealous of that little moment that they had. No, I wasn't. This fucking show. So after that, predictably, Heather is the typical Me Too employee, Me Too person, and she threatens to Me Too Tom by telling HR about, him and, her, and she kissed him, and, but he's the boss, so he's the bad guy, of course. And there's this whole cringeworthy part where, like, Tom is talking about all the worst things that could happen, and he's saying, like, the absolute worst anything that could ever happen to him is HR. Is HR. Like, I mean, I don't know if this show is secretly based, but, like, that was, like, the most funniest, probably, like, unaware satire that I've ever seen, like, in a modern show or movie. I mean, he's like, it's like, of all the things that could ever happen to you, like murder, rape, gang rape, kidnapping, your family getting killed or raped or kidnapped, of all the things that could happen in the whole world, the worst thing for Tom on Cape Fear is an HR investigation. It's just so stupid. And I guess Heather, I don't really know, like, what she wants. She's just kind of a bitch. She's just kind of... To me, I think she's just an opportunist. I mean, she's clearly just an opportunist. Because it's like, yeah... We all know the act that you're pulling. Like, she didn't have any passion for him. Or maybe she did. I don't know. I really don't know with this show. Like, it feels like for every single possible thing I could say, it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of like when you play the board game Clue, and just the entire time you're like, I don't know. Whatever. Like, I could make an accusation. Colonel Mustard did it in Cape Fear, with the lead pipe. I don't know. I have to wait for them to tell me. And, that's the worst kind of show or movie. It's not the worst that there's a mystery that needs to be solved. It's the worst that there's no focus. There's no singular focus. Like, in the original Cape Fear, it was a very simple story. You had this cowardly guy, lawyer guy, and then you had the bad guy. He gets out of prison, and he wants revenge, even though he's the bad guy, and the lawyer feels bad, but the lawyer has to grow a pair of balls and defeat the bad guy. I mean, that's literally the whole story. It's a very simple, a guy needs to grow a pair of balls story. And in this show, it's about opening up a restaurant, and it's about HR investigations. And it's like, why the fuck is HR a part of Cape Fear now? Like, really, it feels like the way that Hollywood works, it's like they're trying to normalize HR as if, like, it... I don't know, it's very strange. Like, you see so much of this in modern movies and shows, as if, like, everyone who writes movies and shows, all they can think about is how much they hate HR, and so we got to put it in everything because that's all we're thinking about all day and night, because, like, it just makes work so terrible. And I don't know, I really don't know. Okay, let's move on. Amy Adams' accent is terrible. She's the worst actor in the whole show. That's a very obvious observation, Marco. And now... Oh, thank God, we're almost done. How are we already, like, almost done? But not really. Excuse me. Max and Tom talk, and Tom is trying to ask Max for his advice, which I thought that was a really good parallel. Tom is asking Max for advice after the last episode, where Laura went to Max for help. And it's like you can see this here on both sides. For some reason, both of these lawyers thought that this guy killed his entire family, and yet both of them are going to Max for his advice. Like he's the ultimate guide of wisdom or something. I mean, he is Javier Bardem. I mean, if I had a problem, I would go to him for advice. I mean, I know that Javier Bardem did not kill anyone before. I know he never killed any family or whatever. So I would go to him for advice. But I don't know why these characters are going to him for advice. I mean, especially Tom. Tom did not have to go to him for advice. If anything, I think it would have been much more interesting after the whole relationship that they built up last episode. I think it would have been more interesting if he went to his son. If he went to his son and he's like, hey, I helped you out with your problem, and now, Daddy has some problems too. You're going to learn about this in the future. The Me Too movement, it's a movement with these bitches who are a bunch of opportunists and who want to gain power over men by making false accusations. And, there was this one bitch at work, and she kissed me and came on to me, but it's Heather from Daredevil, so I couldn't resist. And now she's saying that I was trying something on her. Like, that's all he had to do, go to his son. That would have been so much more interesting. But instead, he goes to Max. I mean, if they had crafted a situation where he was forced to go to Max, because the last episode, you understood why she went to him. It was the Innocence Project. It was all about this guy who was supposedly wrongly convicted. So that lines up with, she should go to Max because, he's one of the... Because she knows him, and she's already been using people, like using that other guy who got out. The black guy, I don't know his name, the character's name. I can't remember it. They barely even said it on the show. But she went to him for help with the phone and everything, and so it made sense for her to go to Max. But for Tom to go to Max, it was just really, really bizarre. And Max basically says, who would you trust most to ask or something? And he says his brother, who's dead. And it's basically like, I should do the right thing. It's like, yeah, no shit. Stand up for myself. Like, this scene would have worked so well if they were actually doing the story of the original Cape Fear. This is like the one scene so far where you can feel like this is what it would have been if not for this new vision that they had, this alternative vision. And so after that, Max says something that I guess lays out his entire plan as a villain. If you guys didn't know already. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know if he's the villain. I have no idea. Because the show is doing like a circle jerk. It's like a tease. I mean, don't you guys hate teases? I hate teases a lot. This show is like the embodiment of a tease. It's just a giant cock tease. Because here's the thing. Max says, Tom, I know that your biggest fear is chaos. It's things falling apart. And it's like, wait a second. Wait, things falling apart? Just like how things are falling apart in the story right now with all the characters. Oh, wait a second. Max is revealing his motive. Tom doesn't even think about that. He doesn't even realize that. He's so stupid. So Max basically, I mean, I like that line. I like those lines. I think he said something about atopy or something. I have no idea the term that he said, but it was a term for like chaos and loss of control. And so I guess Max's motive is to just cause chaos. Like the Joker? I don't know. I really don't know, guys. Like this show is testing my limits. It's just testing me. This show is testing me. It's teasing me. I don't like it. I'm just so weirded out by this episode. After last episode was so good and so fun. And then finally they go to another bar together, and that's where the rednecks show up. So you have Ethan Landry and then his girlfriend. They were the ones that showed up at their pool, the family pool. And, you know, we thought, oh, maybe Max sent them there. But they just met Max. They introduced each other, and they acted like they had never met before. So then it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I guess Max didn't send them over there. And, you know, this whole thing about Max being the bad guy, again, maybe he's not the bad guy. Maybe he's not. I mean, to be quite honest, I know that this is probably saying it a little too prematurely. But with how much they've departed from the original source material, from how many departures that they've done throughout this show so far, it would have been so much better. It would have been so much cooler if Max wasn't the villain. And because that would have really set this apart, I think. I mean, because both of the other versions, it's very clear that he's the bad guy. It's very clear. And I think that kind of... It's a very black and white story. I mean, you know, he's bad. He deserved to be in prison. He didn't deserve to be raped in prison, obviously. But in this show, I guess he was not raped in prison because they got rid of that element too. But he's still a bad guy. But in this show, like, you know, they've made it to where you sympathize with him somewhat and you question if he is or isn't the bad guy. And so if he turns out to be the bad guy, which I think he is, then this whole circle jerk that they're doing is literally for nothing except for padding the runtime. They're padding the runtime because it's 10 episodes of a show that should have been like a 2.5-hour movie. But if he turns out to not be the villain, I think that would be really, really cool. I think it would be so much more interesting, to be honest. Alright. So the thing with the rednecks was a surprise. I didn't think we would see them again. But then again, I should have figured, like, they wouldn't just get Ethan Landry. If they got Ethan Landry, I mean, that's something that you always have to think about, by the way, when you watch these mysteries and these mystery shows, and you recognize an actor in one of the side roles. It's almost always like a guarantee that, like, oh, okay, that person's going to be focused on more. But what happens at this bar is that the redneck has a confrontation with Max, and then Tom steps in, which this was also very bizarre, because it just doesn't line up with the original source material. Tom gets into a bar brawl with the rednecks, and he gets into a full-on brawl. I was not expecting a bar brawl to be a part of Cape Fear, And it's all caught on security camera, of course, because we know that that'll probably be used as like a viral video or something. So now Tom is going to get canceled. He's going to get canceled by HR, for the Me Too bitch. And then he's going to get canceled because of the bar brawl, the random bar brawl. And so, okay, we'll talk about Tom's story, the rest of it later, because then there's another twist that kind of tells you, oh, maybe Max is the bad guy, I guess. Maybe he is. So then Amy Adams goes to talk to Nevaeh's mom, Faith. Or was her name Faith? No. Was it? I can't remember. The mom reveals that she was not punched in the face by Max, and so she doesn't really fear Max. I mean, she and Max, they had the affair, and he basically uses women and then just kind of discards them. That's he's a player. He's a total player. But she reveals that, she's not physically afraid of Max. And I thought that was significant to the story. Because if he was the main bad guy, then wouldn't she have been afraid of him? I mean, they keep on introducing new possible ideas. It's like circling around the same two decisions over and over and over and over again. Is a TV show. Is Max the bad guy? Oh, maybe he's not the bad guy because his former girlfriend from prison, she was never afraid of him, of getting hit by him or anything. And so, maybe he's not the bad guy. I don't know. Take a shot every time I've said I don't know in this video, by the way. She also reveals, though... Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I forgot to tell you this entire... Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember now. Tom confronted Max about the daughter, I think. Yeah, there's just so much shit going on in the show. He confronted Max about Nevaeh. And Max said that he could show Tom all of the prison messages that he sent with her, and that she approached him and he didn't even know she existed, and all this crap. And so then at home, Tom and his wife are having a fight, and Amy Adams's character is so bizarre. She actually suggests that for an entire year, or years, I can't remember how many years. See, there's just so much stuff to remember. She suggests that Max and Nevaeh sent fake messages to each other so that then in the present, during all this Operation Chaos... Operation Chaos! Max is committing Operation Chaos! It just for the benefit of them seeing the fake messages. That's so stupid. But it is revealed. I think it's actually confirmed. Because it's revealed that Max also video called Nevaeh. And so they have video visits. And so maybe he was telling her to send fake messages that they were sending fake communication. That's so dumb. That's even more stupid than what we originally thought, where maybe he's posing as a 16-year-old girl. I was so glad that wasn't the story that they went with, that he's using AI to make himself a teenage girl. But anyways, so it is a possibility that Max has been influencing her and telling her what to do, and that it all started with the video calls, that they had video calls back and forth, because she does know somehow that he introduced his daughter to black magic, to his religion. That's what they call it. So it is confirmed that she learned how to do this evil black magic shit from her dad. So there you go. But at the same time, it's also like, well, she could be using the black magic to do bad things, and then he could have been using it for good things. I don't know. I really don't know. Don't ask me, guys. Like, just watch the show, because I won't be able to tell you anything. And then she tells her where her daughter likes to sleep. Her sleeping place. So Amy Adams investigates there, and she finds that... Remember how Zach threw his toe in the trash? Well, she has actually fished his toe out of the trash. Oh yeah, and then there's also this weird subplot in the episode where Zach found like a statue of some kind, and he's like carrying it around, and then it's later found at like a dead body. So that was another random fucking thing going on, and I think Nevaeh is the one who gave him that statue. So, she's probably... She's gotta be the bad guy. They've gotta be doing like a bait and switch with Max, where it's like, yeah, maybe he's the bad guy. I mean, he's the bad guy in the original story. Or maybe he's not. You'll have to find out at the end of the season finale, Wouldn't that suck if, like, the last 5 minutes of this show, they finally reveal, oh yeah, Max wasn't the bad guy, or, oh yeah, Max is the bad guy. And you'll have to wait until season 2. Cliffhanger! You're gonna have to wait until season 2 for the confrontation between Max and the family. The Bowden family. The fucking Bowdens. Okay. But, Amy Adams finds a letter from Max to his daughter, and it's a picture of a cross, and it says on the back, I'm going to take you here someday. Which I think that's really interesting. I mean, I don't know what that means. It could mean that he's going to kill her someday. And if he is the bad guy, by the way, I think that would be such a cool moment. That would be such a badass moment. Like a dad killing his own daughter. Like, just so dark. Not badass as in, like, I support him doing that, but, like, it would be so cool, like, the payoff of that, of, like, that's what he meant, like, he's gonna kill her. Like, what if it's finally revealed that, like, she's not the bad guy, but I think she is, and then, like, he kills her right in front of them, or something, because, like, he doesn't have any use for her anymore. Like, that would be so dark. And it would definitely tell you, I was really hoping in this episode, since it is like the halfway point, I was really hoping that they would just have his character do something so bad that it would just fully take it over the line, so that then the next 5 episodes it would be, what the fuck do we do now? But they really don't do that. I mean, they do something, but it's not revealed who did it, so there's really no point, What I thought was going to happen was, I thought that after Tom asked Max for help with his with his Me Too situation, I thought that Tom was going to give him her location, and then Max would go and he would kill her. That would have been so dark. That would have been so good. Because it would have been a great reveal. It would have been a great turning point. Oh shit, he is the villain. Or maybe he'd just go there and intimidate her like he did the other guy, I guess. But, I mean, he did kill that snake. He killed that guy's snake. I really didn't like that. But, yeah. Okay. So then... By the way, Amy Adams got suspended because of the viral video. That's another revelation. And so she did get canceled. Even though she's a successful lawyer, a viral video is enough to cancel her. Because cancel culture could get anybody. You know, that's what this story is really all about. That's what Cape Fear was always about ever since the beginning. Cancel culture is the real villain. Not Max Cady, not Nevaeh, you know, not the music. You know, not that fucking music coming on over and over again. Not the son and his whiny ass bitch problems. The real villain in Cape Fear was cancel culture and was memes and was just online, just people being mean online. I mean, it really shows what's worse, violence and killing people or cyberbullying. Well, I think that this show, it actually makes a really good argument. Cyberbullying is much worse than violence and murder. Because you might recover from getting shot in the head, but you might not ever recover from being canceled. I mean, that's what this show basically tells you. This show, it tells you that the very worst thing in the entire world that could happen to you is an HR investigation. I mean, that's just... It's so silly. It's so silly and dumb. Okay, so Amy Adams finds Nevaeh's mom, Faith, and she has been brutally murdered. There's candles everywhere. Or maybe she was hypnotized into killing herself. I don't think so. But the real tell is that Nevaeh... After Nevaeh fished the toe out of the trash, the statue, the mom threw away the statue, this random statue that her son... I don't know, I think the only reason why this statue was a part of the plot was to tell the audience that Nevaeh most definitely killed her own mom. Because otherwise, like, what is the statue doing? I don't know. I really don't know. For the millionth time, I don't know. But she finds the statue next to her body. So after fishing the toe out of the trash... I mean, Max didn't do that. Max didn't fish the toe out of the trash. His daughter did. So I guess his daughter also fished out the statue and put it next to her mom, or maybe... It was implying that someone hypnotized her mom into killing herself. And then you have to wonder, well, when did Max ever have the time to do that? Or the opportunity? I mean, he was at bars the whole episode, you know, spending time with Tom, causing chaos with his Operation Chaos. So Nevaeh is part of Operation Chaos. I mean, Nevaeh has killed her own mom, supposedly. And then Amy Adams' character, her character's so trash. I mean, everything she does is stupid. And she doesn't call the police. She just runs away. She gets blood on her phone, and then she runs away. And another thing is, like, you think that the police won't find her fingerprints on the statue? You think that the police will not see that her shoes, like shoe prints, were in the place? She could have gotten blood on her shoes. I mean, there's just so many stupid things. Just gaps in logic in this show. But yeah, that was a big deal. A murder. A murder has taken place. Was it Mr. Green or was it Mr. Cady? I don't know. Or was it the daughter? Okay. Okay, now Tom goes in to do the right thing. I think to talk with his boss. And this is when Heather reveals that she got a voice message from Tom during the night. And it's him basically, quote-unquote, sexually harassing her, which she is really the one who sexually harassed him in the first place. But in this case, he is harassing her, and he's, flirting with her and telling her, all this crap, and then he's threatening her. He's on a voicemail message threatening her. So either that's AI, and that was, made by someone, or Max hypnotized him into doing that. It's really left up to interpretation at this point. I will say, we don't get to see the resolution of Max and Tom and the whole bar fight thing. So there is a possibility that Max hypnotized him into doing that voicemail and then he let him go home. But I don't think so. But at the same time, like, if not for Max, then who did it? Who did the voice message? And why? There's just so many questions. I mean, Max is the only other person in the whole world who knew about the kiss. Besides Heather. Heather didn't do that. But then it also makes you wonder, did Max pay the rednecks to pretend like they didn't know him, and then to get into that fight with Tom? Was that all a paid thing so that he could get him on camera, getting into a bar fight? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. But, Max did drop a hint, and he said, like, your number one fear is chaos. And then it's like, well, it's obviously so, ironic or interesting or convenient how suddenly all this chaos is going on, and Max seems to be at the center of everything, But then again, it would be so much more interesting if Max wasn't the bad guy. And I think that's ultimately the sad thing about this show. And I might be, because every time I seem to make a prediction about this show, it turns out to not be right at all. But it would be so ballsy and so much more interesting if Max was not the bad guy. Like, that's the number one thing I have to say about the show as a whole. Okay. And then the last part is Max comes over to talk to the daughter, the lesbian daughter, the token lesbian daughter. And then Tom comes outside. The whole family comes outside. And Tom is like, go home, Max. And he's like, okay. And he goes home right across the street. So with his new riches that he's gotten, he has moved across the street from the family. And I will say, I think my favorite moment of the entire episode was this ending part, because there was just this beautiful cinematic moment where the family, they're all sick and tired of this shit. Like, the son lost a toe. He was, like, hypnotized the whole episode and had some weird shit happen. He got stabbed and we never heard about it again. There's no blood or anything. The daughter, she's lesbian and shit. The mom got canceled. The dad is getting Me Too'd, you know, and so they're all just like, fuck you. They all just give him this look like they're just so onto him. And then at the same time, they cut to Max, and, you know, he has an eye tattoo on the back of his neck, like he's still watching you even though he's not looking at you. And then he does this little turn and this smile. And I thought, like, that was the best acting moment from Javier Bardem the whole season so far. I mean, that was just so perfect. Like, if they were actually adapting the story of the original, that would have been so epic. Like, that would have been a shot to put in a trailer. You know what I mean? Like, that was a great way to end the halfway point of this show. Because now there's only 5 episodes left. It's officially over the halfway point. And overall, what I have to say is that the show is being very ambiguous on purpose about what's going on. They keep on dropping hints, but a lot of the pieces of evidence are conflicting, I think. I think that there is a total possibility, and I know that this might be way off, but there is a total possibility that Max is screwing with the family because he knows that they wrongfully put him away. They conspired to put him away. And so that's why he's screwing with them. Or he is the main bad guy and it's all a part of his plan, and his daughter is even his minion or something. But I think it would be so much more interesting if he wasn't the killer. If he wasn't the rapist killer guy that, you know, they're trying to show, I guess they're trying to imply so far. It would have been so much more interesting for him to just be screwing with them in this version, and then somebody else is the real killer. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Every episode seems to just undercut anything that I would think, anything that I would have to say. The only constant so far is that the daughter's subplot was the weakest part of the show so far because it was not needed. It was like an agenda storyline. It shouldn't have been there. And then I think Amy Adams is the worst actor in the whole show. And Max is the best part of the whole show. And I don't like the son either. I think he's a whiny little bitch, to be quite honest. Like, the son in this show, Zach, he is a bigger bitch than Flynn or Walter Jr. from Breaking Bad. Like, he is just one big bitch. So, yeah. So, I would give this episode a C-. To be honest, I really didn't like it. I thought there was way too much going on, and I'm unsure of the direction that the show is going. I just have to say again, there's this whole mystery going on over whether or not Max is the bad guy, is the true bad guy. If he does turn out to be the bad guy, then all of this mystery will have been for nothing. Because there's no purpose to have a mystery unless he really isn't the bad guy. Which, again, I think would be so much better. If you guys are watching this and you haven't watched another Cape Fear review before, a movie that this show is reminding me of a lot is called Past Midnight. It's a very similar type of story, kind of, and I think it's so much better. It definitely it reminds me of what this show is doing, and I think the way that it resolves is really, really good. It's so much better than the show. And I don't know if they're taking influence from it or what. So anyways, please like this video and comment and tell me what you thought of the episode. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest reviews. Lastly, if you would like to support this channel even further, go ahead and check out our Patreon, where we have a ton of exclusive bonus content, spoiler-filled movie reviews, commentaries, character rankings for various TV shows, including Daredevil. I actually did a drunken Daredevil character ranking. I talk about taking Heather to IHOP. It's pretty fun. It's pretty out there. And then lastly, my short film is also there, as well as filmmaking behind-the-scenes stuff. And you can support the Patreon for only a few dollars per month. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.